What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the RAS Project, real stories from real humans, the show where you will learn how to thrive and grow in every aspect of life and business using real, raw, and 100% no bullshit proven tactics. My name is Ivan Temelkov. Welcome to the show. Actually, I just found out that Facebook has been down for about an hour at this point, so I don't even know if the stream is actually being streamed onto Facebook. But we are live on all other platforms. And before I dive into the topic of today's episode, first of all, welcome, happy Monday. Hope you all had an amazing weekend and starting off the weekend on the right foot. The topic of this episode is the 10 seconds of a gun barrel. What went through my head when a gun was recently pointed straight at me? How did this change my outlook and perspective on things? Stay tuned and we'll dive into this further. We are live in audio and video on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitch, and I believe so on Twitter. If you haven't subscribed for the RAS Project, what are you waiting for? You can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, Pandora. Stay in touch and receive fresh episodes on a weekly basis. Let's see if I can get rid of this chat here. Apparently, from what it seems like, Facebook and Instagram are having some major issues. This morning, and this is one of the biggest outages in quite some time. And it appears that Facebook stock has actually just dipped about 5%. So we'll see how this pans out. But yeah, you can get the audio version of this episode on your podcast platform of choice. So, you know, I debated on whether or not I wanted to share the story with you guys. And then I realized that there's a huge, huge learning lesson here that I want to share with you. And just so I can take it from the top, this past week on Thursday, I had a gun that was pointed straight at me. And I think going through that experience, hence why the episode is labeled the 10 seconds of a gun barrel, I think it really gave me a whole new perspective on things. It just really made me rethink everything in life and in business. And I want to share that with you because there are some key lessons that you should take away from this. And I think we have some folks that are on LinkedIn, I believe. Um, let's see. Thank you guys for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Um, got some folks that are um, watching from LinkedIn. So I threw up those comments on the video feed. But so let me tell you the story. I want to share this story with you because I want you to understand kind of the big picture of you know what had happened, how it happened, and what the takeaways are from that. So this past weekend, or this past week on Thursday, I was actually out and about, and I was running an errand actually for my father's business. And I was on my way out, and let me just paint a visual for you so you can really understand how it all came down and how all of this happened. So I'm coming down to a T stop, right? So T stop, T, right? So there's a main road, and I'm coming down, and I hit that road. So I'm sitting there at the stop sign, and I have my left blinker on, wanting to make a left turn. And I couldn't quite see traffic coming from the left side because on the left side of the road there was cars that were parked on near the sidewalk, so I couldn't really see the oncoming traffic. So I had to pull out just a little bit into the street so that I could peek over to the left, make sure the cars weren't coming from the left so I could actually proceed and make a left turn. Well, as soon as I turned my head into the other direction to the right, I noticed this uh, bluish, almost purple, I should say, color BMW with all tinted windows come from the right and literally stop right in front of me in the middle of the street. And at that point, the driver's side window rolled down fully, and all I could see was a hand on the car door and a gun barrel right on top of it that was pointing straight at me at my windshield. And ladies and gentlemen, at that point in time, I honestly think that my heart stopped for it seemed like 10 seconds. And for 10 seconds, all that I did was I was standing still, looking straight at this guy, pointing a gun barrel at me while he was cussing, while he was literally wanting to get out of the car and shoot me. I don't know. I'm speculating here, obviously, but it's quite possible that he had his finger on the trigger also while pointing the gun at me and just cursing because apparently he was upset that I was a little bit out into the street and was under the impression that I was going to run into him intentionally. So during the 10 seconds, I'm sitting there, someone is pointing a gun at me, I'm looking at a gun barrel out of a driver's side window and just standing still as almost as if I was like paralyzed. And there were so many different things that were going through my head. The first thing I wanted to do is get out of the car and, you know, engage in my frustration towards this guy. I mean, who the hell is he to freaking be pointing a gun at me? Come on, bro. Like, literally, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to solve this. That was one thing that was going through my mind. The next thing that was going through my mind was stand still. Just don't move. Let this play out and just hope for the best. Which now in analyzing this, I don't know if that was necessarily the best option, but and then the third thing that was going through my head was, Ivan, don't do anything. Your life is more precious than to act on a frustration, because I was frustrated that someone's pointing a gun at me for absolutely no freaking reason. Right? And so I'm sharing this experience with you because I want you to understand what happened, how it went down. And now in analyzing this, I think the biggest learning lesson out of this, one that I want to share with you, is that your life is more precious than some idiot. Your life is more precious than materialistic and mediocre things. And you shouldn't react on everything, because not everything is worth your time. Not everything is worth your life. Your life is the most precious thing that we know of. And this was a really, really shocking experience. First of all, I have never had a gun pointed at me ever in my life. So this was definitely frightening, right? And then at the same time, I think there was a lot of mixed feelings and emotions that arise from this. One side of me, thought that I was going to die right then and there. All this guy had to do was just pull the trigger, and the gun was pointed directly at me. Unless I ducked or something and got lucky, it would have hit me straight in the head because he was pointing right at me. Now, luckily, this guy churned beside me and just kept going. So I definitely locked out of the situation. But you know what? Luck will only take you so far in life. I of all people know that I'm extremely lucky. There's been a lot of circumstances in my life that I've experienced luck. But the vast majority of the circumstances and things that I've accomplished were as the result of manifestation. And that is what I want you to understand, is that, first of all, you shouldn't act on everything. Not everything is worth reacting to. Use your head. Make educational decisions. Don't react to stupidity. And clearly, this was an act of stupidity. This was an act of ego in a way to prove a point. Sure, if I had my gun, in that situation, would I have pointed it at this guy? Maybe. Would have that been the wisest thing to do? Probably not. And so the reason I wanted to share with you, the reason I wanted to share the story with you is because I really want you to get a slightly different perspective on life, on business, on your relationships, to really understand that not everything is worth reacting to. Not everything is worth your time. Not everything is worth your energy. Not everyone deserves your time. And when you think about life on the grander scale, your life is priceless. If you're not alive, you can't do anything. You can't raise a family. You can't fulfill your goals. You can't fulfill your dreams. You can't build a business. You can't make money. You can't do anything. You're dead. And so now, really thinking about this after the fact and really rationalizing, I think that I made the best choice possible. I made the choice of not to react to stupidity and just go about my day. And that is really the underlying lesson that I want you to understand, that not everything is worth reacting to. In fact, there's a lot of things in life and in business that you should not react to. They're not worth your time, they're not worth your energy. Be very selective about your actions, be very selective about your time, be very selective about the value. All of that, time specifically, is the one thing that you will never get back. The time that you spend on everything, you will never get back that time. So think about all these things going into this week, today being Monday, October 4th, 2021. I really want you to be considerate about your actions and your choices. And make sure that whatever choices, whatever actions you take in whatever circumstances, that they benefit you, that they're going to help you advance and help you get to that next level of whatever it is that you're pursuing. That is really the key message that I want to share with you. And once again, if you haven't subscribed to the RAS Project, what the hell are you waiting for? You can do it on any podcasting platform of your choice. Definitely do that so you can stay tuned. And we'll be back on Friday for a new episode of the RAS Project. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, have an amazing rest of your week. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate your time and attention. And I hope that this episode brought you some value that you can apply in your own life, in business, in relationships. Until next time, triumph victoriously, my friends. Take care. Bye-bye.